This video is probably like the worst quality ever, but that is okay. So I record this video at like 3 a.m. but I decided not to upload it because I was whispering a lot, because it was late and I was trying not to wake anybody up, and I just feel like I wasn't hitting points that I wanted to hit. And before I start this video, I know I never said this, but I did promise myself that I wouldn't like upload any videos that like have to do with like Twitter drama, like, but this has escalated from Twitter drama to something that like literally needs to be discussed. Like, this is no longer just like something that we like laugh at and I was like trying to make videos for jokes. Like, this is something that needs to be discussed. If you've seen my unpopular bookish opinions video, I said that I don't believe that authors should not be on social media, and for the past couple of weeks this has been proving, like, situations have just been proving my point. So like, there's this like whole Michael Grant situation, which I'm not really gonna get in, but it's just like that situation happened literally after I made that video, and then now this, and I just feel like authors don't need to be on social media. From authors literally stalking people who give them like 1 or 2 stars and like trying to like cuss them out and like literally admitting to stalking them, to this situation where at first it was just something that everybody was laughing at. Like, at first it was just authors like saying that like they shipped like incest. They said, well, they weren't saying they shipped incest, so somebody shipped Jones up, and like Victoria Avard had, she like quoted or whatever when saying how she shipped it. So then Jenny Han was saying how like she like make a fanfic for her, something like, I think Victoria Avard said how she wants to like make a fan fiction for it, and then Jenny Han was like, oh okay, like I support it, whatever. And then Claire Legrand also said how like she was shipping it, and like it's just weird because they're cousins and they're siblings, like that's like double the incest. And so everybody was just like making fun of it. Like, of course it's disgusting, but we weren't like, you need to be canceled or you're canceled. Like, we weren't doing that whole like cancel culture kind of stuff. It was literally just everybody making jokes out of it. And at first I was just gonna like make like a funny like video off of it, and then the situation like escalated. First, let's just talk about how I just can't believe my queen Jenny Han like participated in this. Like, I don't think she shipped incest. She probably, like, if she does or whatever, I don't know, but she was just egging Victoria Avard on. I don't like Victoria Avard. Her books aren't good, and I think that if she wrote the Red Queen series now in 2019, she like the story would have flopped. And I think she got lucky because she wrote the story at the right time, and now she's literally holding on to that series, and I don't think she'll ever write anything else, and it probably won't be good because she's annoying. Victoria Avard is one of those authors on Twitter who really annoy me. Like, she is so annoying. And I'm saying names because unlike, like, I hate when I watch drama videos on YouTube and people don't want to say like who the person is, and like everybody has to figure it out. And I feel like if somebody does something like ignorant or offensive, people need to start saying names so that other people will know not to like stand them. Like, I don't want to, like, I don't know, watching a video on how this person did something that was like really homophobic or really racist, and like sitting here looking through the comments and everybody trying to like figure out who it is. That doesn't help anybody. It's just you making a video on it. If you don't say names, it's not doing anything, you know? Like, it's useless. So I will be saying names. And so at first, like, everyone was just making fun of it, and like everyone was like, it was so disgusting, but we were making our jokes, like, and I just feel like that's what happens on Twitter. Like, we just make jokes out of everything. Like, there's so much drama that we have on book Twitter that we just have full jokes for. So of course, like, we were all like, ha ha ha, like, we were all laughing. That's all we were doing. We weren't canceling them. We weren't like, they need to be done. I wasn't even like, I'm never gonna read these authors again. Like I said, like, I'm not reading Victoria Avard because I don't like her, but Jenny Han is always my queen, and I will never cancel a woman of color unless she like does something like homophobic or racist or like super like problematic in that area. But like, other than that, I will never cancel a woman of color. Like, I do not care. They're not, sorry, you know, women of color gotta stick up for each other, you know. But like, and Claire Legrand, whatever her name is, I was still gonna read Furyborn just because it's been on my TBR for like ever. I was still gonna read that, and like, we weren't canceling or nothing. And then here comes Emily A. Duncan, who's the author of The Wicked Saints, And this other author of this story who like the story I don't even know what that book is. Like, she wrote something, but like nobody cares about that book anyways, and nobody in the book community even talks about it, so it really doesn't matter. But here comes Emily A. Duncan talking about, she was saying something like, oh, I don't ship Jones up, but basically she was saying she doesn't ship Jones up, but everyone's egging this on, which I mean, okay, whatever. And I get that, but at the same time, of course, people are gonna drag situations out because you have people like me who like to laugh, or like I'm that person in class where somebody will tell a joke, like, and then 20 minutes later, like, they're still giggling. Like, I'm that person that's still giggling, like, in the back of the class. like if somebody tells a joke that's really, really funny, I will be laughing for a long time. Like, I'm that kind of person who will like laugh for like ever. And so you have people like me who like think of like funny jokes like 2 days later, and they tweet it, and they like goes, I don't want to say it blows up, but it does like pretty well. And then you have people who aren't on Twitter all the time, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, what happened? And you know, so then they join in. So of course situations are gonna drag on. But it's been like 3 days. It's been like 3 days, and this whole situation, like, the situation would have died down yesterday, I promise you. Yesterday morning when I got online, people were like tweeting like tweets here and there, but it wasn't like all down my Twitter line all day long. Like, literally when I got on yesterday, it wasn't that big of a deal. And then here comes Emily A. Duncan with her big mouth having to say something. Like, nobody asked you to say anything about this situation. You see how there's authors like Holly Black, Tahita Mafi, Rashni Chosky, like, closing their mouth. They don't say anything. They mind their business as they should. Nobody asked anybody to speak up on this. Like, it really wasn't that big of a situation. And then anyways, the point of why I'm angry, well, not angry, the point that like why I'm upset is the fact that this other author, the other lady I mentioned earlier who books nobody cares about, she jumped in, and they were all just like, her and Emily were just talking about like how it's mostly just older people complaining, and how younger people don't use Goodreads, and how younger people aren't really on like book Twitter like that. And it's basically like insulting their readers, and it's showing that they think very lowly of their readers. Because how are you here saying that teens don't have Goodreads? Like, who do you think reads your books then? Like, there are so many teens on book Twitter. First of all, there are literally stan accounts for books, not like book bloggers or booktubers. There are literally like stan accounts for books. I follow so many, I'm friends with so many stan accounts who are just for books, and they're like, half of them are teenagers. Some of them are like still like 19 in college. Like, you know, half of them are still teenagers, and majority of them have Goodreads. I had a Goodreads account when I was in the 6th grade because I thought that Goodreads was a place where you could read free books, but I was just dumb and poor. Not saying much has changed, because much hasn't changed, but like, still. So saying that they don't use Goodreads is, I don't know, it's like saying, like, there are so many people who use Goodreads, and it's like talking down on teens and basically saying that all teens do is like, and saying like all teens do is like they don't read, basically. And like, you write YA, so who do you think that your audience is? And then they talk down on people who, they were like, and only like 30 people who are 30 something are like complaining or whatever. I'm gonna post a screenshot here so y'all can read it for yourselves and take it as you may. And I'm just sitting here like, how are you talking down on people who are 30 something? Like, there are so many people who love to read YA, not even just young adults. Like, just how teenagers could read middle grade, and middle grade could read young adult, like, if they're mature enough and their parents let them. Like, you're just really talking down on their readers. And I don't like Emily A. Duncan. Wicked Saints was not that good. It seemed like the kind of book where they were trying too hard to be like this epic fantasy, and they was trying so hard to have like really difficult names. And I got into like 3 chapters of it, and I was like, ain't for me. And I feel bad because I got an arc of that book, and that was like the very first arc I ever got, and I DNF'd it because I was not feeling it. And I feel really, really bad because like that was my very first arc. And so to have your very first arc be a book that like you DNF, I feel like sad, you know. But the book wasn't it, and I wasn't about to force myself to read a book that I wasn't feeling to review it. and a lot of people are giving it like 3 stars and 2 stars and 1 star anyways. I've seen like maybe 3 people give it 4 and 5 stars, so people aren't really like rating it that high to begin with. So maybe sis should stop talking about her readers and go focus on writing her books. That's all I gotta say. And it's like, if you don't think teens are on Goodreads, like what do you think they're doing? Like it's just like you're talking down on your readers, and you're not like, I don't know, it's like you're talking down on your readers, and then you're talking down on people who are older than like the target audience. Because I'm 20 and I still read YA, and most people who are on booktube who are over the ages of 18 still read YA every now and then. It's like, how do you talk down on your readers? And it's like, she was basically saying, like, Emily Duncan was like, oh well, like just the 3 or 4 people who don't like my book, like that, like who it was something like 3 or 4 people who like put blacklist me or whatever. Like, this community is so big, and once you like start to insult your readers, like this community does stick together at the same time. So homegirl, and I've been looking on her Goodreads, and it's been going down. So actually, I just realized that I didn't even make my point in this video. My point is that I don't think that authors should have social media because they don't know how to use it. Like, there's been so much author drama recently. There's the Michael Grant situation, the Elle Kennedy situation, the situation where the author was like stalking people who like gave her books like 1 or 2 stars, and then there's like this situation. There's the author who like basically was outing themselves as racist and blocking people who were trying to educate them. Like, there are so many authors on Twitter who should not use social media in the way that they do, and like people need to just be like Holly Black, Lee Bardugo, Jay Kristoff, like authors who just tweet their fans, they talk about their books, they talk about what's coming next, they retweet stuff, and they support their other author friends, and then they get off Twitter and they go mind their business and they go write their books. Like, and that's all I have to say. This video wasn't to like talk about drama or anything like that. It was just a discussion. So